Deputy Mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Richard Vernon, is now in Bridgetown, Barbados, leading a Jamaican delegation to a joint regional conference of the Commonwealth Local Government Forum, CLGF, and the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB. Some 75 delegates are in attendance at the conference, representing countries with subnational systems of government such as Antigua and Barbuda, Bahamas, Belize, Dominica, Guyana, Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Trinidad and Tobago. Deputy Mayor Vernon said that the conference will provide the opportunity for delegates to exchange on key issues facing local government in the Caribbean, such as the ongoing social and economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I am Councillor Richard Vernon, Deputy Mayor of Montego Bay, and this week I am in Barbados with our team, Councillor Donnet Foster and Councillor Tasha Swap, as we participate in the Commonwealth Local Government Forum. This forum seeks to explore topics such as climate change adaptation, women in local government, and also localizing the Sustainable Development Goal. As a country, we will benefit from such a process, we will benefit from such a discussion as we seek to become more resilient, as we seek to apply monitoring and evaluation to our mode of operation and to our projects, to our programs and to our policies. And of course, as we learn from other countries and their experiences, their best practices, and utilizing those best practices and approaches to governance locally and implement it in our municipalities across Jamaica.
Councillor Vernon added that the conference will provide an opportunity for regional exchange and for the setting of priorities for ongoing work in the Caribbean.
I represented Jamaica in particular on the whole matter of climate change adaptation, where I shared our experience in Montego Bay in terms of climate change, in terms of global warming, in terms of what we experience with flooding and all the anomalies associated with the climate change factor. We are also joined by a particular funding agency, the Caribbean Development Bank, which we can engage and have conversations with about how we can ascertain funding to deal with the development of our programs, the development of concept documents, and also to implement programs within the municipality to improve the lives of our citizens and to improve the city on a whole as we seek to achieve a sustainable city status.
In other news, the Halfway Tree Police are seeking the public's assistance to identify the body of a man that was found on Haldane Avenue, Kingston 10 on Sunday, May 15. He has only been identified as Mandela. The body appears to be about 5 feet 8 inches tall, of slim build and dark complexion, with a dreadlocked hairstyle. Now, the body was clad in a red and black sleeveless shirt, gray pants, and a pair of black socks. Reports coming into our news center tonight are that a team of officers responded to explosions heard in the area. Upon the arrival of the law enforcement officers, the body was seen lying on its side in a pile of leaves under an ackee tree. The police are asking anyone with information that can assist to identify this body to call the Halfway Tree Police at 876-926-8184. Crime Stop at 311, Police Emergency 119, or the nearest police station. Still tonight, Corporal Rohan James was returned as the chairman of the Central Executive Committee of the Jamaica Police Federation, JPF, in yesterday's elections. James received the nod to lead the representational body for rank and file members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force at the end of an election exercise that was the culmination of the two-day joint central conferences of the JPF at the Ocean Spring Hotel in Falmouth, Trelawney yesterday. Corporal James said that he intends to complete several projects throughout the year and that this mandate given to him and other colleagues is no honeymoon.
This chairman, this central committee will very much be inclusive and we will not entertain a high-handedness approach. We will be humbled, and we will continue to utilize every aspect of the criticism, whether it be constructive or otherwise, and we will use it to grow from strength to strength. Hats off to you all, and a hotly contested campaign, but at least we know that we are not going to be here sitting on our laurels, because the members have given us a mandate. It is saying to us as corporals that we are on no honeymoon, and the business will continue. But if we do anything such as succession planning, we will endeavor to get to where we need to be. A federation being a powerhouse and a 96% strong, being a JCF strong, taking back our rightful position from whence we were pushed and regaining strength.
Also elected to serve on the executive board is Corporal Arlene McBean, who is set to act as General Secretary. She explained the completion of a digital-based system to accept, track, and manage welfare applications by members of the constabulary.
The Federation has embarked on an online system called MARMS. And MARMS is going to reach the length and breadth of the world. Because if you're in Rome, Dubai, Israel, you can tap into that MARMS system, which is a members accountability relation management system. What that system does, it accounts for your application. As soon as you apply, you get a tracking number. And guess what? We clock the persons who are processing your files. So now we're going to hold our staff accountable, because it's a service that we're giving. This is an elected position, and you expect a service from us. You will see the movement of your file. And whilst the system is in the stage of fully conceptualizing, we are expecting to launch it very soon. So if it's a check you're going to collect, when that check reaches to the accounts department, you have resolve. But guess what? It says accountability. So you have to confirm that you're in receipt of that by saying resolve too. So it's reciprocated. So we want to have that vision where all rank and file are well served.
Additionally, Detective Woman Sergeant Tamika Thomas, Sergeant Lloyd Duncan, and Constables Coy Marriott and Nigel Murphy, Woman Inspectors Blanche Codner and Jacqueline Brown, complete the 8-member board. We turn our attention now to tonight's COVID-19 update, where the country's positivity rate from the latest batch of testing conducted is 27.6%, as 288 new cases of COVID-19 were yesterday reported, as well as 5 additional virus-related deaths. Now, this increases the total of cases recorded on the island since the start of the pandemic to 133,538, and the death toll to 3,018. In tonight's COVID-19 parish breakdown, Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 64 cases, St. James recorded 46 cases, St. Anne 21 cases, St. Catherine recorded 73 cases, Westmoreland 7 cases, Hanover, St. Elizabeth, and St. Mary recorded 6 cases each. Trelawney recorded 1 case. Clarendon recorded 25 cases. Manchester, 27 cases. St. Thomas recorded 3 cases, and Portland recorded 4 cases. Continuing with the news tonight, the police are probing the suspected drowning of a toddler at his home in Bridgeport in Portmore, St. Catherine on Tuesday. The deceased has been identified as 1-year-old Benton Cohall Jr. Now, according to reports coming into our news center, at about 12:50 p.m., Benton was at home with his parents when he was discovered lying face down in a bath pan with water. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Still tonight, a male resident from Flanker in St. James died from injuries he sustained in a motor vehicle accident along a section of Queens Drive in Montego Bay yesterday. Now the deceased has been identified as 37-year-old Ricardo Edwards. Reports by the Coral Gardens police are that shortly after 6:30 p.m., Edwards was driving a 2011 Golf Volkswagen motor car from the direction of downtown Montego Bay towards Flanker. Upon reaching a section of Queens Drive, he reportedly swung to the left lane in the dual carriageway and collided with the rear of a parked white Mack trailer truck. Edwards sustained injuries to his head and was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The Coral Gardens Traffic Police are now conducting investigations into this latest fatality. Still making Mello TV news. Charlemont High Vice Principal 62-year-old Jennifer Giddon, who had been absent from school since falling ill last October, has died. Giddon is the 6th teacher in Jamaica to die in just over a week, a shocking sequence of events that has rocked the education sector. The mood at the St. Catherine's School was marked by disbelief and sadness as co-workers processed the passing of their colleague, who some of them have known for more than 30 years. President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, Winston Smith, also confirmed that another teacher, Amory Tomlinson, who was employed as a teacher at a school in Black River, St. Elizabeth, died suddenly yesterday, the second teacher to die in the last 24 hours. Smith said he is extremely concerned about the surge of sudden deaths reported among teachers. He believes that high stress levels in the nation's classrooms is contributing to the deaths. He urged teachers to implement relaxation exercises to relieve stress and called for spiritual intervention on behalf of the nation's teachers. The president of the JTA also asked the Ministry of Education to provide counseling to schools affected by the sudden passing of teachers. Among the teachers who have passed away are Gregory Williams, mathematics lecturer at the Portmore Community College in St. Catherine, who passed away on May 11. Anne-Marie Johnson Lindo, vice principal of Duncan's All-Age School in Trelawney, who died on May 12. Antoinette Banton Ellis, principal of Vere Technical High School in Clarendon, died May 12. Carlos Gordon, a grade 6 teacher of One Way Prep School in Kingston, died May 14. And Donnelly Wright of Tarrant High School in St. Andrew died on May 16. She taught English language across several grades since 2019. Mr. Smith expressed condolences to both the biological as well as professional families of the deceased colleagues. In other news tonight, financial advisor Oral Heaven has been elected the new president of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He takes over from communications professional Jeanette Silvera. Here is Colleen May with more on this story.
Oral Heaven, the newly elected president of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, received a gravel of leadership from immediate past president Janet Silvera during the Chamber's annual general meeting at the Montego Bay Convention Center in Rose Hall, St. James. Heaven, who works at Sagicor Life in Montego Bay, St. James, and had served as Silvera's first vice president, was elected unopposed during yesterday evening's annual general meeting held at the Montego Bay Convention Center in Rose Hall in the parish. Joy Clark will serve as first vice president, Damia Dawes Manthorpe, the second vice president, and Carleen May as a third vice president. Heaven has previously served as president of the St. Anne Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In his inaugural address, Heaven outlined a number of ongoing projects that his administration will work on.
There are a number of things that are happening that we will continue to build on. The Cornwall Regional Hospital is dear to all of us. We want to see that hospital return to the first world type A hospital that it should be. There's a rehabilitation oversight committee on which I serve. We, the members of that committee, will ensure that the work at the hospital is done in the 24, well, based on the discussion with the minister, to 30 months, as promised by our Minister of Health and Wellness. As you would have seen in the media, and you have heard our immediate past president mention it, just Monday of this week, and past President Gloria mentioned it too, that we gave the hospital a check for $5 million. Now, the funds raised by the chamber to be used to buy needed equipment for the hospital. Director Dominic, we really appreciate that, but the hospital needs more. And a few hospital, so we have to some work to do. We have to raise more funds for the hospital. This hospital takes care of, it serves us. It serves our community, it serves our families, it serves our guests, because Montego Bay is, of course, a tourist city.
Heaven announced plans to meet with major stakeholders in the parish in efforts to move the city of Montego Bay forward.
A number of health businesses are in Montego Bay. IDOC, GWES, SecMet, Hospital, Oneness Health Center, and of course the members of the BPO and global services sector, and the members of the Chinese community, the Indian community. We all have to work. These are all stakeholders. And of course our own Godfrey Dyer from TEF and the JHTA. We want to invite all these stakeholders to a table after we meet our board of directors, craft the plan of moving our city forward. We want to hear what is their input. How can we work together to, Montego Bay, there are two serious issues in Jamaica, crime and health issues. You realize we in St. James face those two issues. What I'm saying, can we work together in St. James to fix crime, the best way we can, fix the health issues, and then use this as a platform to fix Jamaica? That's our aim, that's our plan, that's what we want to do. Yes, the stakeholders of our city are many. We'll not forget, though, the business that have their head offices in Kingston. And they have their offices or do a lot of operations in Montego Bay, from which they make a lot of profit. But when it comes down to supporting activities like the Telethon, support activities such as our security summit, it's difficult for them to contribute. So I'm saying, Montego Bay contributes a lot to your bottom line, a lot to your business financially. We're asking you to partner with us. Partner with us. Kingston is not Jamaica and it will never be Jamaica. We want you to partner with us so that we can continue to grow this city and grow our country.
Meanwhile, in her farewell speech, Silvera thanked the members of the chamber for supporting the organization and the city of Montego Bay during her tenure.
When businesses succeed, communities prosper. And local chambers play a pivotal role in empowering businesses to grow and thrive, even in the most challenging of circumstances. So before I step aside, I must charge you to do your part in sustaining your local chamber. There are some companies that were born elsewhere outside of Montego Bay that have embraced Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and are actively involved in ensuring its survival. What I've observed is that some of the Montego Bay businesses feel that they can only get what they need if they align themselves with groups in the capital city because they think they'll be more recognized. But you have to build your yard first. Don't forget where you're coming from, and forget that there is a Chamber of Commerce in hometown Montego Bay that needs you. This is where you started, many of you, and this is where you probably got most of the support you needed in order to get your company to where it is today. So I'm imploring the companies that were born in Montego Bay to understand that they have a responsibility to ensure that this lobby group not only survive, but thrives.
Reporting from Mello TV News, I'm Kelleen May.
Thank you, Kelleen, for that report. And those are the stories making news. We now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with the very latest in sports.